Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Find Your Lady Tribe podcast. My name is Brenda Ridgely, and I am your host this season. And I'm so excited about all of the great stories that we've been bringing forward this season. Stories of midlife reinvention, of going from the funk to the fabulous. And I don't think there's going to be a better story than what we have today with Jen Schultz. Let me tell you a bit about Jen. Jen is a manifestation and money mentor, a podcast host, and former 9-to-5 employee turned early retiree at 34. She helps women design lives they love by combining mindset, manifestation, and smart money strategies. Welcome, Jen. So glad you're here.
Thank you. I'm so pumped to chat with you today.
Welcome to the Find Your Lady Tribe podcast. I'm your host, Brenda Ridgely. This is season 4, and we are deep diving into the heart of midlife reinvention. If you've been feeling that midlife funk, that sense that you've mastered your roles but you've lost your spark, you are exactly where you need to be. This season is inspired by the framework of my upcoming book, Ignite Your Life's Purpose and Save the World. We're going to help you move from autopilot to on fire by hearing from incredible women who have reclaimed their own life force. It's time to stop just going through the motions and start living your next chapter with intention. Let's ignite that spark. Save the world, sister.
Okay, let's dive right into it, Jen. I want to hear your story. So you started off as a 9-to-5er. That's probably where we're going to begin here. Maybe not. Let us know what happened.
Yeah. So I was a good girl. I was playing by the rules. I went to school. I got my job with a pension, and I was just supposed to ride it out till retirement. And I hated it. I showed up every day, and I mean, I didn't hate it at first. Anything new was kind of fun for a while. So I did it a few years in, and then it just started feeling like a grind, showing up every day, dreading going in. And I'm like, how am I supposed to just ride this out to retirement? Like, if at every single day it feels like the energy is just sucked out of me, I just want to go home, binge eat a bag of chips and watch some Netflix. Like, that is not a healthy way to live life. So I'm like, I can't do this forever.
And you're truly working for the weekend. I get it. I remember that corporate America, the hamster wheel.
Mm-hmm. Working for the weekend. Yeah, I always refer to it as the rat race, where you're just, that in that hamster wheel, right? You're just spinning round and round and round every day going, when am I going to get off this wheel? I'm getting dizzy in here, right? So I knew there had to be a better way. And at the same time, I also knew that I had bills I had to pay. So I'm like, what do I do? And once I had that question of what do I want to do, and I want to do something different, that's when I started getting these little universal nudges. So 2 friends I knew when I was like, I hate my job, I got to do something different. And I mean, hate is a strong word, but that's the way I felt at the moment. I just knew I was done. I couldn't, so let's start with the 2 books. So the 2 books that 2 separate people gifted me at that time were Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the Robert Kiyosaki book, as well as Jack Canfield, The Success Principles. 2 books that I had never come across before and literally changed my life from that moment on. So I read these books in the evening with my bag of potato chips and I had to start somewhere, and I was getting little sparks in them. So the Jack Canfield book has a lot of what do I want? Like, what do you want in your life? And there was this one exercise in it that was, what do you want to be? What do you want to do? What do you want to have? And all I knew at that time of reading that book was what I didn't want. I didn't want to show up 9-to-5 at this job anymore. It was not going to work for me. So I'm like, sure. So I grabbed my pen and paper, fill out this little exercise in this book. And I'll be honest, there was a lot of material things. I know there was like a nice blue jacket I wanted. I wanted to go on a trip to Cancun with my sister. I did want a miniature schnauzer. I wanted to buy a house with my husband. And so there was little things, and I just tucked it in the book and I didn't really think much about it. Meanwhile, I'm reading the Robert Kiyosaki book, and he talks a lot on you don't necessarily, the worst way of making money is trading your time for dollars.
Right.
And I was like, oh, that's what I'm doing. And yes, this doesn't feel good. This doesn't feel good for me. So what else is there? And that's when I went down the path of, oh, I can house hack real estate was what in the end, in a nutshell, of what I came out of doing from that. So it was, I would buy a house with a suite in it, live in one of the units, and rent out the other apartment suite to somebody else, essentially covering my mortgage. Meanwhile, I had my monthly money that I would have been putting to my mortgage, I'm saving up for a down payment on another property. And I did that a few times in a row, keeping the initial properties. So it was really interesting that soul-sucking job that I have, that I would go home and just binge eat potato chips at the end of the day in those moments of by having these books and having this little spark in me of just knowing I was creating something different, I had the energy at the end of the day again. I would go to work, I would still put in the time and do the thing that I needed to do to pay my bills at the time. But because I had this added layer now, this new little like spark, that's the only way I can think of describing it right now, that was giving me the energy I needed to be building this next level of my life. Well, I'm still hanging on to that.
Yeah, leaning on to the job, it sounds like, right? You hadn't abandoned that yet.
Exactly, because
you were starting this little side hustle that gave you that spark of hope of like, there's more. So I want to go back just a little bit to, because I know you're a manifestation coach and you talk about, and I think law of attraction is definitely in your wheelhouse. Let's talk about the power of knowing what you don't want.
Yeah, using that as the catalyst. Because it's not good to focus on what you don't want. Because if you're focusing on what you don't want, if like when I was in that focus of I hate my job every day, I was just showing up every day, still hating my job every day. But using that, oh, I don't want this, as a catalyst to start seeing the clarity on what you do want. And in that Jack Canfield book, there was the very first, I think it's the first chapter, the first exercise in the book is event plus outcome equals your response. So E plus O equals R. So the event was me showing up my job every single day. My response to it was, I hate this, get me out of here. And the outcome was that I would go home every day and feel absolutely miserable. So by having that formula, the E plus R equals O, I was like, if I want to change my outcome here, the negative place that I'm in, I have to change either the E or the O. And by showing up at that event, my job every single day, with my response, I tried changing it. I tried changing it, but I knew that wasn't the piece that I had to change here. So I knew I had to change the actual physical job to change my response to therefore give me a different outcome. So by using that formula to change your outcome, you either have to go back and change your physical event that's happening in your life or the way you're responding to it. Because sometimes it's just, oh, I'm showing up with a stinking attitude here, and that can change the results of what's happening.
For sure.
But yeah, if you go in with the I don't want this and allow yourself to get clear on what do I want, that's when the doors start opening.
Right. But it's a powerful first step to know what you don't want, right?
Yeah.
And just identify it and then go, I'm a student of Abraham Hicks, and she has said, you know, instead of looking and focusing on what you don't want, pivot just a little bit even. And start looking at something you do, because that's what you attract, is what you're looking at, what you're focusing on. So thank you for that. So now you've got this exciting side hustle that's taking care of some of your bills and giving you a means to like energizing you to do that, go into that grind for the next day. So continue.
Yeah. And so while I was doing that, I knew essentially I had come to the conclusion, all of this, that I wasn't employable, because I was like, if I want to change my job, great. If I know I want to change my job, I can be looking for other jobs. And I got clear. I'm like, what do I not like about this job? And sure, there were certain nuances, but I didn't like having to show up early. I'm not a morning person. So me committing to show up early every day, and like that goes against me as a human being. My best hours are in the evenings. I can get so much done. I have so much creative spark that comes out of those evening hours. So how can I be playing into my strengths? So showing up at the butt crack of dawn for somebody else, that's not one of my strengths. Asking for time off.
Mm,
That I hated that. I had to miss my cousin's wedding. Like there was things that I missed out on because a boss said no to me.
yes.
And like you said, showing up for the 5 days to get two off, I didn't like that either. So I was like, oh, I'm unemployable. And that's
Mhm.
okay. So
Yeah,
yes, by using the what don't I want, it helped me get clear on what do I want.
right. I'm
Yeah.
the same. I think one of the biggest success factors in my life is if I can wake naturally.
Ah,
I mean, how wonderful is that, right? And
yeah.
I, it's not like I sleep all day or until noon or anything, but I wake up naturally around 8. And isn't that lovely?
Hmm. Yeah, I hear you. I'm here for that.
Awesome. Okay, so you are unemployable. What's the next part of the story?
Yeah, so I'm unemployable. I have decided that that was kind of the aha that I come to when I started looking into the real estate that led me into the house hacking, the real estate. So we plan to do that. So my husband and I, we buy our first house together that does have a suite in it. So we're going to live in one suite, we're going to live in the other. And remember, that was one of those items that I had on that list, buy a house with my husband. So we're packing and I pull that book off the bookshelf and that list falls out of that book that I had tucked in there about a year prior at this time because I'd gone so far down the Rich Dad Poor Dad rabbit hole that I had put the other book to the side. And every single thing on that list had come true. I had gone on the trip with my sister. I had my miniature schnauzer dog. We had
Mm,
bought our house together. I had bought my blue coat. And all of these things were showing up in a way that I had to say yes to them. Like I walked past the coat on a rack out of season. I think it was 90% off. I had to say yes to it. It was on my list. My trip to Cancun with my sister, I had exactly enough money left at the end of the purchase of our property, like almost to the dollar, to say yes to go on that trip to Cancun. So there was just all these synchronicities lining up from this little piece of paper that I had in this Jack Canfield book that I was like, what is this? This feels like magic, this little piece of paper that fell out of
yes.
this book. What is happening here?
I love that
And
because it's kind of like it doesn't have to be a vision board for those of you who've never heard of it, like putting pictures of what you want on a board because visually you're seeing that every day and you're attracting it, but it's also just writing it down is powerful.
yeah, just the clarity on what do I want. And so that was a total one of those like earth-stopping moments where time almost froze in that moment where I was like, I can't not pay attention to this piece of paper right now. So that's when I stopped packing, grabbed the book, sat back down on my couch. I don't even think I had a bag of potato chips anymore at this point. And and I was reading through it, and yes, in there I came across vision boards. And I was like, this sounds really fun and creative. I like a glue stick and a pair of scissors. So I started making vision boards. And that's when I got onto, I was like, oh, that's where kind of the trigger for manifestation began for me. How can we
Mm,
get intentional about what we want in our life and start taking action towards it and watch the way that the universe shows up in co-creation with us to help us create this life that we want. So that's kind of
mm.
where the catalyst like started transforming and things started like pivoting into, oh wow, I have the potential here. I hold the key to change my life to something different.
Mm, lovely. Yes. I mean, when you actually, when you first read things sometimes about the law of attraction, you kind of think it's a little woo woo, whatever, we're in reality here, but then you put into practice a few of the elements, and then you see a result like you did.
Mhm.
Uh, it's life changing.
Yeah, because you can't ignore that.
No, it was,
It's one thing, yeah, if you're like, oh, woo, yeah, that's something. Like, and lots of people still say to me, oh, manifestation is so woo. I'm like, yes, but it's also amazing and fun. And if I treat it as this woo game of, yes, I'm going to throw my biggest dreams and desires at it and take action towards them, it just all these beautiful synchronicities start playing in. I'm like, if this is woo, I'm here for it.
Right. I'm absolutely a woo-woo wannabe and a woo-woo in progress.
Yeah.
All right. So awesome. So what's next?
So what's next? There were so many things. So that was essentially the spark of, yes, I'm going to go out, create the life I love. I did vision boards year after year, and 9 out of 10 things on them would play out. And I got to the point where I was like, you know what? I am unemployable and I'm going to just go out and do my own thing. So that's when I got put on my big girl pants and was like, I need to do something here to solidify and cement this in. Because if I am creating this new version of me who is unemployable, I'm going to throw myself a retirement party. And I'm going to vow that from this day forward, I am not working for somebody else. That is not who I am. I'm just going to own this. And I'm going to, along with that, let the world know that that's what I'm doing. So I did that at 34. My grandpa was shaking his head at me like, what is this crazy kid doing? Like, this is so out there. But I'm like, it's my life. And I was so tired of playing by everybody else's rules, the society norms. So I threw myself that retirement party and got pregnant the year later. So it was like another thing that came out of my life of, you know what? It's okay just to roll with the punches. And this is my life. Why am I worried about what other people are going to think as my life is playing out?
Absolutely. I mean, the truth is people aren't even really thinking about you as much as you think they might be, right?
Yes. And you know what? As much as you might say that, if I were to say that to one of my kids right now, they'd be like, what do you mean?
Right.
But that is so empowering and so
Yes.
freeing. And I try to
Yes.
tell that to them. I'm like, your buddies are more worried about their shoes and the clothes they're showing up in than the stain on your pants right now because you dropped something on it. It's so true, but that is an empowering thing.
Yeah.
How can you just go out there and live the life you want without worrying about what other people think? It's
Right.
because it's not an easy thing to do.
Yes, but you're right. So freeing. Absolutely.
Freeing.
So, Jen, you threw your retirement party at 34.
Mhm.
How awesome and exciting. Um, was there what kind of emotions you were excited? Were you afraid at all?
Yeah, okay, let's go there because so let's go to that last day. So I had to, my last day at that job that I completely hated. I'm just reliving that for a second in my body. It feels heavy. So I put in my 2 weeks notice, ride out my last 2 weeks there. I leave. I remember it was a beautiful sunny day out, and I went and sat in my backyard, and it was just like I did the thing that I had wanted to do for so long. I ripped that band-aid off. I walked away from my pension job, which my parents had told me this is the golden ticket. Like, you get your pension job, and that's what you do. And I went against what they told me. They still supported me along the way, like any a true parent and peer group will do. But I went and I sat in my backyard and I cried. It was the weirdest, like, oh no, like this feels backwards to everything that I've been taught in this
Yeah.
life. To
Yeah.
just to be like, I'm gonna go do this thing and do it and go, holy crap, I just did that thing. Now what? Yeah.
Yeah.
But it as like I think part of me for crying was almost like just like a release
Mhm.
and an end to that chapter. I had worked so hard and put in the time, and I'd gone through so much just emotional and mental, getting the courage to go do that thing, right? Getting
Mhm.
like the balls to say, hey, I'm actually going to do this thing. So yeah, I had my good cry. I called my friends and I said, I did it. I'm home. I'm done. And it things shifted after that point. Not shifted, but things started feeling better after that point. I was able to calm back into this new version of me who had just done that thing, and then it became really empowering. I felt really, I guess, courageous. I felt like because I had done the thing, so your self-confidence kind of grows a little bit. My peacock feathers were standing a little bit prouder in that moment after I did that thing because it was my thing to do.
Mm. And you said your grandpa gave you the little, side look, like what's going on here? Did you find your tribe generally supportive? Your girlfriend's like, I can't wait to watch what's next, or was it more like, oh, watch out? Or what kind of feedback did you get?
No, they 100%. Because I mean, your tribe's with you through the good times and the bad, right? They see you when you're in those moments of, oh, I can't do this anymore. And they're typically the people who are having those chats with you over and over on repeat as you yourself are kind of sifting through the mess in there of like, I don't like this. Okay, but if I don't like this, what do I like? As you're going through all that personal stuff, your tribe is typically along there with you, hearing you as you are sorting through everything. So yes, they knew where I had come from and they supported me through it. And I mean,
Mm.
they probably would have supported me no matter what I did, right?
Yes.
At the end of the day. But they were definitely there for me as I went through it. And I have cards from them from my retirement party. So just the little tokens, right? That yes, you are seen. Yes, you are
Mm.
supported. In the world where you're like, yeah, nobody else is seeing you anyways, I feel like it's important to be seen by your tribe and feel like you have those just those pillars there along with you so that if I did fall, if I would have been still in my backyard crying and made that phone call to them before I calmed myself back down, they would have been there with me to talk me through it, right?
Right. Absolutely. Well, sounds like you have a great tribe.
Hey, lady. Just wanted to take a moment and interrupt right now in the middle of the show to ask you to subscribe. Yes, press that button right now. This show is all about you, the midlife woman. Let's do this thing together, so join us. Subscribe now.
So tell us all about your amazing life now that you got out of the 9 to 5 hustle and you are doing your own thing.
I got on the 9 to 5 hustle. I'm doing my own thing. I have 2 kids now, which was weird to say. I threw myself a retirement party and then went out and had a family. But my second one, she was born right in the thick of COVID. So right in the time where they were shutting hospitals down. That is the month I was due to have a baby in the hospital. And me being me, it
Mm.
was like, you know what? I'm going to do something different now. So let's call up a midwife and we're just going to stay home for this. So yeah, I had my kids and then my youngest was starting kindergarten about that time, about a year after COVID. And I'm just living my happy life. I'm at home, mama bear with my kiddos late in life, which I'm okay with. But I was standing in the kindergarten lineup and I was like, ooh, COVID really did a number on society in the terms of, I feel like bringing people to a place of like lack and scarcity. I could just hear it when I was standing in those kindergarten pickup lines of, and it's kind of happening again, if I'm being honest, like in the world with stuff that's going on globally, it's affecting the cost of groceries and who knows what
Yeah.
gas prices are doing right now. And
Yeah.
so we're kind of going through it again. So I just seeing the people around me with this kind of heavy doom cloud of lack and scarcity, I was like, oh man, I got to do something about this. What can I do about this? And that's where I got this little call in my heart to create a podcast. And that's where I'm like, more people need to know about that woo possibility of manifestation and the law of attraction on how we get what we focus on. So yes, there can be all of this chaos happening in the world, but how can we focus on what we want as our catalyst to keep pulling us forward and spread more of the good stuff in the world? Because if we
Mhm.
can keep focusing on more of the good stuff in the world, yes, there's bad stuff happening. We don't have to ignore it, but let's focus on the good and do what we can to bring more good into the world. So that's where my little introverted self, decided to start a podcast and have some fun with that. And that is kind of been my jam lately.
Awesome. What's your podcast called?
Manifestation and money.
Love it. Okay, awesome. So Jen, what are your thoughts overall on midlife reinvention?
I think if I anything like, did just see this tattoo I got here? It's
Yeah,
like an infinity loop with an arrow going for it.
yeah.
It is a symbol to myself to always allow yourself to pivot in life. So midlife reinvention, I'm here for it any season in life, because life is not this static, circular, we're not on that hamster wheel. Thank God. Like, thank goodness, because that's no fun. You get dizzy on that thing. So I am all for always allowing yourself to pivot, to reinvent, because as you grow, as you change, it would be weird to be still doing the same things. Like if I look back at it, it'd be weird if I still had the same hobbies I had when I was a teenager. It'd be weird if I still had the same social circle I had when I was in my 20s. We like to go out for drinks after work and stuff. Like that's just not my jam anymore. You are allowed to change and evolve. And I think, especially in midlife, we need to embrace it, because I think we hit a point where we do the things where if we're parents and our kids are growing up, you feel like, oh, I've done the thing, check, now what? And it's almost like that is such a rewarding and like all in job that you're doing. You can come out of that and go, oh, I think I kind of forgot what I like to do. Sure, it's been fun to sit and play Monopoly on the weekends, but now what do I want to do? And I think if we allow ourselves to get quiet and turn back into our own hobbies, and I have this reoccurring calendar that pops up on the first of every single month, just on my little Apple calendar. It says, what's in my calendar that lights me up? Because it is so important to hold on to just those little sparks. So then it's just my reminder to go book in coffee dates with certain girlfriends that I love hanging out with, to make time to go pop over and visit my parents. It's just, what do I have in there? Go sign up for that pottery class that I want to try out, right? Like, what are those little things that just kind of elevate us? Because by going out and doing those things, we're hanging out in the circles of the people who are also doing those things.
Absolutely.
And I find that's kind of where your new life starts shaping out. Like just to be in those new circles.
It is. It's building life experiences, right?
Yeah.
I mean, not just doing the same thing over and over again, which we all get caught in for a while, but recognizing it, fabulous, awesome.
Yeah. And doing that same thing over and over again, I think you touched on something there. It's so easy just to kind of be living a life on autopilot.
Yes.
Like we're just doing the same thing and it's not bad, not good. Like, I'm just saying, it's easy to get stuck in that loop of just being on autopilot. And then all of a sudden, one day you might hit that point and go, oh my goodness, like everything just kind of feels flat. So how can you shake it up sometimes and walk down a different pathway or drive a different way or do something a little bit different, just to kind of keep ourselves in that it's okay to explore life a little bit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, do you have any advice for women out there that might be kind of in this floundering state, fearful, caught up in what, they should be doing but not feeling that spark? What's something that someone could do today or this week that would just kind of pivot them or shift them and take a step towards what's next for them?
Yeah. I hit that spot before where when you say you lost your spark, it reminds me of Austin Powers when he's like, I've lost my mojo. And it's kind of that feeling where you just kind of feel like flat, like a flat line. I've had that. And I would say, first of all, get quiet and see, because you might actually have the answer. You might feel those little nudges of, oh, and it could be simple at first. It could just be like, I want to go for a walk. So you go for a walk and you get outside, and walking through the trees and hearing the birds allows yourself to get even quieter so that you can start sorting through thoughts in your head. And I find intuitive downloads come in at those times where you get those little sparks of, oh, maybe I should try this thing, or maybe I should call this friend. And those things lead to the next thing that you need to hear. And sometimes too, though, it could be just getting a spark from somebody outside. So if you go to your closest people who know you the best, your tribe, it could be family that you're really close to, and say, hey, like, I'm just feeling kind of meh. what are some things that you know that I love or you've seen me do in the past that have lit me up? Because sometimes we just need those reminders of, oh yeah, I did like that thing, but I've been so over here just doing the same loop over and over that I forgot that I liked that thing.
Yes, love it. Those are some great ideas. Um, Especially I like to ask someone else because they see your face when you're in the midst of it and they go, yeah. So they would maybe have a visual memory of and be able to go right to something. Love
Yep.
that. Thank you,
Mhm.
Jen. So tell everyone here how we find you.
I am easily found on my podcast, the Manifestation and Money podcast, and I have a little community over on School. So that's at manifestationplayground.ca.
Awesome. Perfect. Okay. So my final question to you, Jen, is how do you tribe? And it sounds like you have a great tribe already. So how do you keep that tribe growing and building depth?
Mm-hmm. And it's interesting. My tribe of my core people, they don't even live in the same town as me anymore. We're all scattered throughout, but we've been through so much together that we've seen each other at our rock bottoms and our tops, I guess. We love to meet up just through literal chats. We have group chats going where we're throwing memes at each other and stuff. We meet up once a year and we go to Las Vegas just because it's an easy place for us all to meet up. We share a bedroom, so it's the three of us in a single like studio type setup, and sometimes it takes us 3 hours to get ready for to go out for the day because we are just talking, getting ready. It
Mm.
reminds me of, I don't know. I guess it reminds me of sleepovers as a kid, where
Oh, yes.
you're having the deepest, rawest conversations, and sometimes those conversations are literally about nothing. But there's something so special, and especially friends that you've had for a really long time that you're going through it. Right now, our talks are all about perimenopause because we're all in the thick of it, right? Like, you just need, these aren't the conversations I can go have with my husband. I'm sure he does listen to me, but the conversations are different, right? You can't relate on the same level. So
Right.
to find those people that you can just dish everything out to and know that they're here for it, they give you the space and lift you up when you need lifting up, and maybe just calm you down a little bit if you're going a little bit cuckoo. But I think you just need to find your tribe that is as weird and as wonderful as you are.
Absolutely. I love that. And I agree with you. My poor husband gets TMI all the time, even though I have a great tribe that I definitely bounce the stuff off of. But he's right here.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Anyway, it has been such a pleasure, Jen, to visit with you today. And thank you for sharing your super interesting and fearless story of stepping out into really where there's no little path before you anymore and trying something new because that's where um, the universe meets you, right? For
Yeah.
what's next and exciting new opportunities. So thank you so much. And to our listeners, thank you for being here. If anything in Jen's story resonated with you or reminded you of someone, please share it. Give us a like. We just so appreciate you being a part of our tribe. And with that, when three or more gather, we are tribe.
Thank you for spending this time with your Lady Tribe. I always say that when three or more gather, we are tribe. And today, with my guests, myself, and you listening in, that circle is complete. I hope this story reminded you that your purpose is worth the pursuit. If this episode stirred something in you, please take a moment to subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Your engagement helps other sisters find their way to our circle. If you're ready to take the next step in your own transformation, I invite you to join our gathering place, the Save the World Sisterhood Facebook group. It's where we unmask, connect, and cheer each other on as we ignite our lives together. Until next time, I'm Brenda Ridgely. Save the world, sister.